If we were to imagine a full-scale inter-universal war between the canon Star Wars galaxy and the United Federation of Planets era of Star Trek, we would be witnessing the ultimate clash between two fundamentally different kinds of civilizations. One steeped in myth, mysticism, and epic scale, the other grounded in science, diplomacy, and hard-earned technological advancement. To fairly and thoroughly analyze the likely outcome of such a war, we must delve into their factions, species, ideologies, military capabilities, and the unquantifiable X-factors that could tip the scales in unexpected directions. In the end, there must be a winner, but to get there, we must go galaxy by galaxy, ship by ship, and philosophy by philosophy. The galaxy of Star Wars, as depicted in Disney canon, is vast and ancient, composed of millions of systems and an uncounted number of species. The dominant political powers have shifted throughout time. The Jedi-led Republic, the Sith-dominated Empire, the fractured chaos of the New Republic, and the rise and fall of the First Order and the Final Order. The Star Wars galaxy has never truly known peace. It is a place of continual war, where lightsabers clash against blasters, starfighters dogfight amidst debris fields, and Force-wielders alter the course of entire battles. Even though hyperdrive allows near-instantaneous travel across the galaxy, most decisions are still rooted in personal agency and mystical fate. The Force binds everything in this universe. It is not only a power source, but a metaphysical current that can sway destiny. Entire battles can be turned by a single Force user with sufficient power and resolve. In contrast, the Star Trek universe, at least the main timeline beginning with the original series and extending through Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, Voyager, Picard, and Discovery, represents an optimistic vision of human progress. Earth and its allies have formed the United Federation of Planets, a cooperative alliance rooted in exploration, diplomacy, science, and mutual defense. Their technology is arguably more precise and elegant than Star Wars, favoring transporters, replicators, warp drives, and matter-energy conversion over brute force. Yet they are not defenseless. Starfleet's finest ships, like the Galaxy-class Enterprise D, Sovereign-class Enterprise E, and Defiant-class warships, represent highly advanced and powerful vessels with shielding, phasers, quantum torpedoes, and the ability to warp away from danger. Moreover, the Federation is not alone. There are multiple competing superpowers: the Klingon Empire, with their warrior honor and bird of prey cloaking technology; the Romulan Star Empire, ruthless and secretive with massive capital ships; the Cardassian Union, cold and authoritarian; the Dominion, an empire ruled by shapeshifters and enforced by genetically bred warriors; and most terrifying of all, the Borg Collective, a cybernetic hive mind that assimilates civilizations and technology with unstoppable hunger. The war begins with tension and espionage. The Empire, still operational in this imagined crossover due to its Sith cloning projects, encounters the Borg in deep space. The Borg, sensing the Empire's dependence on biological leadership and crude droid-based automation, attempt to assimilate a Star Destroyer. It ends in catastrophe for both sides. Borg drones overwhelm the crew, but the Force-choked resistance and onboard failsafes cause the cube to self-destruct. This sparks a panic. The Empire sees the Borg as a demonic plague, not unlike the Rakhal virus or technobeasts of Sith legend, and orders total annihilation. Meanwhile, the Federation, alerted by the death of a Borg cube in foreign space, dispatches a diplomatic envoy, but it vanishes. Both universes are now aware of one another, and across the dimensional boundary, perhaps opened by an unstable wormhole or a dyad in the Force, fleets begin to converge. The first real battles occur in the neutral zones between powers. Starfleet tries diplomacy, sending the USS Voyager, now retrofitted with 32nd century tech from Discovery's time jump, to negotiate. However, Vader, commanding a super Star Destroyer, sees the Federation's overture as a threat. He orders the fleet to fire, and Voyager's shields, advanced though they are, cannot hold out forever under the relentless torrent of turbolaser fire. Starfleet ships are tough, but they were not designed to withstand the sheer volume of destructive energy delivered by the Imperial Navy. The Federation counters with cloaked Romulan warbirds and Klingon birds of prey, striking with hit-and-run tactics. Star Wars ships are powerful, but comparatively more lumbering and sensor-limited. The cloaking fields give Trek factions a momentary advantage. In the first month, the Romulans cripple several Star Destroyers. It seems like Trek's precision and stealth could outmaneuver Star Wars' brute force. But then the Empire escalates. The Death Star, rebuilt through Sith alchemy and hidden in the unknown regions, emerges. It fires upon a Borg cube that entered its space, disintegrating it in a single shot. The Borg adapt quickly, but the Empire has learned too. They create new TIE models infused with Sith biotechnology, resistant to adaptation. The Borg then attempt to assimilate kyber crystals to use force-reactive energy as a weapon. This draws the attention of the Jedi. Luke Skywalker, Rey, and a handful of remaining Jedi sense the disturbance in the Force and confront the Borg Queen directly. She is immune to the Force, her mind distributed across space, not rooted in a singular presence. They can destroy drones, but cannot sense or predict her next move. In turn, she attempts to graft midi-chlorian-infused cells into new drones. Some reject it violently. Others begin to exhibit proto-force sensitivity, destabilizing the hive. The war spreads. On ground worlds, the clone armies of Kamino, still producing troopers under secret First Order contracts, are deployed against Jem'Hadar shock troops of the Dominion. These ground battles are devastating. Star Wars excels in planetary warfare. Walkers, speeder bikes, starfighters, and heavy armor prove more than a match for beam rifle infantry. Yet the Dominion's self-replicating factories and near-fanatical obedience challenge the Imperial stormtroopers in both endurance and brutality. Still, the sheer scale of the Star Wars military infrastructure, millions of ships, 100,000 star systems, entire production worlds like Fonda and Corellia, means that attrition is on their side. For every sector the Dominion takes, the Empire absorbs 3 more. On the technological front, Star Trek's edge in energy manipulation gives them tactical tools Star Wars lacks. Transporters allow rapid extraction, sabotage teams beam into key locations, and replicators produce emergency munitions on the fly. Their warp cores are more stable than Star Wars hypermatter reactors. However, Star Wars compensates with numbers, gravity well generators, interdiction cruisers that prevent warp exits, and psychic warriors that predict enemy movements. The Federation faces its worst threat when Emperor Palpatine, resurrected once more, discovers a way to manipulate subspace. With Sith rituals and the knowledge gleaned from captured Vulcan scholars, he begins corrupting Starfleet's warp matrix with dark energy. Transporters begin to fail. Entire ships are lost in fold space anomalies. Reality seems to fracture. Starfleet morale declines. Only the intervention of Jean-Luc Picard, now leading a multi-faction alliance, prevents total collapse. He brokers a temporary alliance between the Federation, Klingon, and the rebel remnants of the Resistance. Together, they launch an offensive targeting Sith infrastructure. Yet they underestimate the power of the Force. During the siege of Exagol, where the Final Order's fleet is preparing to launch interuniversal conquest, hundreds of Sith loyalists emerge, fueled by the dark side and artificial kyber planet killers. The Resistance sends everything: X-Wings, Mon Calamari cruisers, even Jedi Masters, but the skies are torn apart by Sith Star Destroyers with planet-killing superlasers. It seems hopeless until the Borg reappear, having adapted not only to Star Wars weaponry, but having assimilated ancient Jedi holocrons. A new queen emerges, part synthetic, part Force ghost, wielding a new kind of power. She turns a portion of the Final Order fleet against itself. But it is not enough. Ultimately, the deciding factor is scale. The Star Wars galaxy, in both timeline and magnitude, dwarfs the Federation and its neighbors. The average Star Destroyer carries tens of thousands of troops and starfighters. Their capital ships are city-sized. Starfleet excels at diplomacy, exploration, and surgical strikes. But Star Wars was born for war. The Empire alone fields millions of ships. Add to that the Force, an unpredictable, semi-divine energy field that no Star Trek species can fully comprehend or resist, and the Star Wars galaxy possesses an edge beyond calculation. Force precognition invalidates cloaking strategies. Jedi and Sith can sabotage starships with a gesture. The Final Order's hyperspace ramming tactics outmatch warp flight escape speeds. And even the Borg, for all their terrifying adaptation, cannot keep up with the metaphysical chaos of the Force. In the end, Starfleet's last stand occurs above Earth, the cradle of the Federation. The Enterprise E, cloaked Klingon reinforcements, and dozens of Allied ships try to intercept a fleet of Sith Star Destroyers emerging from hyperspace. They fight valiantly, destroying dozens before falling one by one. Captain Worf rams his ship into the bridge of a Star Destroyer. Admiral Janeway leads a suicide run with a transphasic torpedo. Picard beams aboard the Sith flagship and confronts a resurrected Palpatine. But this Palpatine is beyond anything he has faced. A being of raw malice who unleashes Force lightning capable of disrupting the transporter signal itself. Picard dies with dignity. Earth burns. When the war ends, the galaxy is silent. The Star Trek civilizations have either fallen or retreated into exile. The Empire, Final Order, and remaining Jedi absorb the best technologies of Starfleet. Holocrons now whisper in Vulcan, and Sith cloaks shimmer with Romulan refractive fields. The Force flows through the remnants of the defeated. Some will rise again, guided by the legacy of both galaxies. But for now, the winner is clear. In a war between universes, Star Wars emerges victorious. Through scale, the mystical dominance of the Force, and the unrelenting will to conquer or die. The light may flicker, but in the darkened stars, the Empire reigns supreme.